We are now through the quarter-way mark of the 2024 NFL season.
If we just eliminate what we thought about the Vikings in the preseason, this is a Super Bowl contender.
With an awfully interesting and eventful September of football now in the books, let's see how all 32 NFL teams stack up against each other in our Week 5 edition of the NFL Power Rankings. Number 32, Jacksonville Jaguars. Last time's ranking, 31. The Jaguars nearly stunned the Houston Texans, but late C.J. Stroud heroics sent Doug Peterson's sinking crew to 0-4 on the season. This season is already over, and it is not too early to wonder if the Jaguars are plotting to blow it all up and just rebuild. Number 31, New England Patriots. Last time's ranking, 29. Sheesh, how much longer can they stick with Jacoby Brissett? He has yet to hit 200 yards in a single game this year. 2 TD passes in 4 games. Does Jared Mayo really think that May can't do any better at this point? Number 30, Tennessee Titans. Last time's ranking, 32. The Titans lost Will Levis to injury early on Monday against the Miami Dolphins. But the Tony Pollard-led ground game carried the load offensively, and the Tennessee D was hardly challenged by Tyler Huntley. Yeah, they probably lose if Tua Tagovailoa starts that game. But hey, there's still a lot of feel good for a Tennessee team that had nothing going for 3 weeks. Number 29, Carolina Panthers. Last time's ranking, 28. So, back to Bryce Young, anybody? Andy Dalton came back down to earth after a near-perfect performance in Sin City last week, and we just feel like it's worth giving Young another shot in this lost season. Number 28, New York Giants. Last time's ranking, 27. The Giants couldn't find the end zone once against Mike Zimmer's vulnerable defense. The result? A 20-15 loss. With a brutal and unfair schedule now ahead, it's not too early to talk about the Giants winning the first overall pick. Number 27, Arizona Cardinals. Last time's ranking, 24. The Redbirds' D was gashed by Washington's run game, allowing 216 yards and 4 TDs on the ground. Jonathan Gannon was brought in to coach this team because of his defensive background, and yet Arizona can't stop a nosebleed. Number 26, Miami Dolphins. Last time's ranking, 19. Well, the Dolphins are pretty much done then, aren't they? The arrogance of the front office and coaching staff seem to think that they could win with Tyler Huntley and Skylar Thompson as their QBs with Tua sidelined. At 1-3, it just already feels like that's it for a team that entered this year with championship expectations. Number 25, Los Angeles Rams. Last time's ranking, 21. Sean McVay's Rams came up short in a tight 24-18 road loss to Caleb Williams' Chicago Bears that ended up dropping them to 1-3 on the year. We don't want to harp on the Rams too much, who are without their top 2 receivers in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, but with a daunting schedule ahead, we're just not sold on them going on a hot second-half run like they did a year ago to reach the postseason. Number 24, Cincinnati Bengals. Last time's ranking, 30. Well, the Bengals kept their season alive for now with a pretty dominant victory over old friend Andy Dalton and the Carolina Panthers in Week 4. We don't want to jump the gun here, but a Bengals win over Baltimore in Week 5, coupled with the Steelers' loss to the Cowboys, would have Cincy just 1 game out of first in the AFC North. Number 23, Cleveland Browns. Last time's ranking, 20. While Joe Flacco was busy leading the Colts to a win over the Steelers in relief of Anthony Richardson, Browns fans were stuck watching more garbage quarterback play from Deshaun Watson. 4 straight games of under 200 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Yeah, remind us why the Browns let Flacco walk again last year. Number 22, Denver Broncos. Last time's ranking, 26. Did the Broncos really beat Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets on the road with only 10 points? With rookie QB Bo Nix throwing for 60 yards? I mean, yeah, it's the NFL, so of course they did. And just like that, Sean Payton's group is 2-2 after dropping their first 2 games. Number 21, Las Vegas Raiders. Last time's ranking, 25. Antonio Pierce's Raiders gutted out a 20-16 victory over the Browns in a defensive slugfest. Vegas' ground game led the way with 152 yards on 29 carries, perfectly making up for Gardner Minshew's limitations as a passer. At 2-2, the Raiders are very much in the postseason mix and promise to not be pushovers this year. Number 20, Chicago Bears. Last time's ranking, 23. The Bears leaned on the old-fashioned style of football in order to defeat the Rams, playing stingy defense and running the ball down their throats for 131 yards and 2 touchdowns. With the 1-3 Panthers and winless Jaguars next up on the Bears' schedule, the golden opportunity is there to get this offense on track. track. Number 19, Los Angeles Chargers. Last time's ranking, 15. That 2-0 start was fun while it lasted, Yeah, the Chargers were without Joey Bosa, Derwin James, Rashawn Slater, and Joe Alt in their 17-10 loss to the Chiefs on Sunday. The silver lining, a Week 5 bye for the Chargers' injured players before returning to the field with a road game in Denver. Number 18, New Orleans Saints. Last time's ranking, 12. Well, so much for that 2-0 start. New Orleans somehow lost to Kirk Cousins' Falcons despite not giving up a single offensive touchdown. If they lose to the Chiefs in Week 5, might Allen be on the hot seat? Number 17, Atlanta Falcons. Last time's ranking, 18. The Falcons could easily be 4-0, but they could easily be 0-4, so 2-2 isn't the worst case scenario for Raheem Morris' squad. And hey, a win over Tampa on Thursday would put them atop the AFC South. Number 16, Dallas Cowboys. Last time's ranking, 17. The Cowboys saved their season, at least for now. The Dak Prescott-CeeDee Lamb combo is still as good as ever, but if the Cowboys are to contend in the crowded NFC this year, someone on offense other than Lamb is gonna need to step up to help Dak. Number 15, Indianapolis Colts. Last time's ranking, 22. A big-time jump for Shane Steichen's squad following a statement home win over the previously undefeated Steelers, and they did it with Joe Flacco having to play hero following a hip injury to Anthony Richardson. With an easy schedule ahead of them, the Colts can really place themselves in a favorable playoff position here. Number 14, New York Jets. Last time's ranking, 10. Just an all-around disappointing loss for Aaron Rodgers' Jets. So the offense remains a work in progress, which is odd given the talent level. The Jets especially need Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson to get going, and quickly. Number 13, Green Bay Packers. Last time's ranking, 9. Not really sure how to analyze this loss. Yeah, Jordan Love will get better as he gets healthier, but still, this Packers D is just not playing up to its high skill level. Allowing 22.3 points per game through 4 weeks? Not an inspiring start for new DC Jeff Hafley. Number 12, Philadelphia Eagles. Last time's ranking, 7. The Eagles may as well have forfeited in advance instead of showing up for a beatdown against Tampa Bay. You can cite the A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith absences all you want, but that Eagles defense has been awful, save for one good week in New Orleans. It's becoming harder and harder to buy Nick Sirianni's group as a real contender. Number 11, San Francisco 49ers. Last time's ranking, 13. The 49ers got back to basics and made easy work of the Patriots. We knew the 49ers would bounce back. I mean, heck, at full strength, they are the best team in the NFC. But on a side note, can Brandon Ayuk get it going ever? Number 10, Baltimore Ravens. Last time's ranking, 14. Tell your friends and your neighbors the Ravens are back. Thank you very much. As evidenced by a primetime shellacking of Josh Allen's Bills on Sunday Night Football. Your friendly reminder that the Ravens are a prime Super Bowl contender. Number 9, Washington Commanders. Last time's ranking, 16. Jane Daniels had another superb outing in Sunday's beatdown of the Arizona Cardinals, tossing 233 yards, 1 touchdown, 47 rushing yards, and 1 rushing score. The Commanders, as we all expected, are atop the NFC East heading into October at 3-1.
Whoa!
I did not see that coming.
Number 8, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last time's ranking, 11. As they did in last year's wildcard round, Baker Mayfield's Bucs humiliated the Eagles at Raymond James Stadium, this time by a final score of 33-16. The Saints' sloppy loss to Atlanta asserts Tampa Bay as the team to beat in the NFC South. Number 7, Seattle Seahawks. Last time's ranking, 6. Geno Smith's career day went to waste in Motor City as the Seahawks defense napped throughout the entire Monday night loss to the Lions. Hawks fans ought to hope that that defense isn't actually that vulnerable. Number 6, Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time's ranking, 4. Well, the Steelers can't be happy about that effort in Indianapolis. Justin Fields' lackluster play leaves you wondering if a healthy Russell Wilson might get a look at QB when he's actually healthy. We'll see how things play out after the Steelers host the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Number 5, Houston Texans. Last time's ranking, 8. The Texans shrugged off their ugly Week 3 road loss to Minnesota by narrowly avoiding an upset at home over the winless Jags. CJ Stroud and Nico Collins are firing on all cylinders, but the Texans need the likes of Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Derek Stingley, and Danielle Hunter to step up against tougher opponents points down the stretch. Number 4, Buffalo Bills. Last time's ranking, 2. We won't harp too much on the Bills for losing to the Ravens here. They were due for a loss after playing near flawless football for 3 weeks. Time to shift the focus over to another tough opponent on Sunday. A showdown in Houston against old friend Stephon Diggs and the Texans. Number 3, Detroit Lions. Last time's ranking, 3. Jared Goff was perfect in Monday night's domination of the Seahawks. 18 of 18 for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, in a receiving TD of his own from Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions now head into a much-needed bye week before visiting Dallas in Week 6. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings. Last time's ranking, 5. Just as we all predicted, Sam Darnold is playing like the MVP frontrunner over 4 weeks. Oh, and the Vikings are a perfect 4-0, featuring statement wins over 3 other Super Bowl contenders in the 49ers, Texans, and Packers. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going in London on Sunday when the Vikings meet old friend Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. Last time's ranking, 1. The Chiefs are going to be number 1 here as long as they keep winning. Losing Rashee Rice is an awful blow for the defending champs, but they just keep finding ways to win, and Rice's absence opens the door for Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster to step up and produce more on offense. But hey, what changes would you make to our Week 5 edition of the Power Rankings? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.